Jane Suits here with Peace Coaching Worldwide. I wanted to visit a little bit tonight with you about the patterns of abuse. The last time I visited with you about being abused, and sometimes it's hard to know if we're even being abused. And I thought maybe it would be helpful if we talked a little bit about the patterns of abuse. Uh, there is a thing out there, and maybe you know about it, maybe not. It's called the cycle of abuse. It has 4 stages. The first stage is a tension building phase, and the second stage is an incident. The third is a reconciliation, and the fourth is the honeymoon or the calm stage when everything seems to be going well. Well, I wanted to talk a little about the tension building phase or the lower level phase of this. It's unlikely that it's one behavior that happens. Now, it could be things that are going on in the realm of insults. Your partner criticizes you on things that you're doing or what you're wearing, or they might be dismissive. If you have something that happens at work, you're really excited, you want to tell them, and they hardly pay attention to you when you're talking, or they change the subject. These are all things that can attack your self-esteem, and they make you feel really not very good about yourself. And they also may do things that attack your sense of reality. This is more psychological abuse. I didn't say that. You didn't say that. You didn't tell me that. And it messes with your sense of reality, and it becomes very confusing to know what you're doing, and you don't even know half the time and what you're doing wrong. And pretty soon you start to think that there's something inherently wrong with you because you just don't even know what's going on. You never seem to be able to do anything right for them. So then you get to the larger events that happen, the incident that happens. Now, these happen less often. The first ones, the criticisms, the lower level ones might happen on a daily basis or a weekly basis or twice a week, whatever. Every relationship is different and every person is different. Now, the larger level things that happen, they don't happen as frequently. You have the big blow up. They're yelling, they're screaming, they're swearing at you, calling you names. There might be physical intimidation, or there might be threats of physical intimidation. There might be threats against your kids or your pets or your possessions or themselves. They might threaten to hurt themselves. These things can be really devastating and scary, and they don't maybe happen as often. But then there can also be things that happen less often. Let's say holidays. It seems like every once in a while, or every holiday, or every other holiday, there always seems to be a big blow up. There's chaos happens, you didn't do this right, or this is happening, or they're upset about this or that. And they like to, an abusive person will like to get the focus off of you having a good time with your family or friends, and you need to focus on me. It doesn't even have to be good attention. It just needs to be that you're focusing on me. And that can happen on holidays, not every holiday, but certain holidays. So there's always a pattern that happens. Now these patterns, they don't have anything to do with you. They have to do with what's going inside of the abuser. And what's going on inside of them tends to repeat itself over a similar duration of time over and over. That process repeats over and over. So if you were to log their abusive behaviors, you might have a little bit of a heads up, I guess, as to what might be coming. So if they do things kind of on a weekly basis, or a semi-weekly basis, or a monthly basis, you might be able to see a pattern that says, okay, we're about due for a big blow up. Now, if you have a heads up on this, you might be able to prepare yourself to become differentiated and stay calm and know that what's coming has everything to do with what's going on inside of them and not you. You are responsible for what you do, and they are responsible for what they do. Not to say that any one of us is perfect and does everything right, but we are responsible for our responses and our reactions, and they are responsible for their reactions and whatever they do. So even if you do something that upsets them, they're still responsible for their response and their actions. So anyway, that was my thought for today. I thought maybe that would give you some heads up, and it might give you some insight as to what's coming your way. Thanks for stopping by.